Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our channel, Didikanku, with your host, David. Today, I have a very special guest joining us from Bali. He's a good friend and a career and leadership coach, Coach Putu. Welcome, Coach Putu.
Thank you, David. I'm very pleased to be part of this program.
It's a pleasure to have you. So some of our listeners, I'm sure, are very curious what you do and your journey as a coach, and what is a leadership and career coach. So if you could tell us a little bit about your background and your journey to become a career and leadership coach.
All right. Thank you, David, for this opportunity. Let's introduce myself. My full name is Putu Hartana. So you may call me Putu. So before I joined as the professional coach, I worked for the hospitality industry for more than 25 years.
Wow.
Actually, I would like to share to everybody that I start my career as the waiter.
Okay.
Yeah, and I grew in the hotel industry from waiter, moving to captain, supervisor, and restaurant manager. So once I in charge as restaurant manager for around 3 years, and then I have the opportunity to grow to human resources.
Oh, interesting.
And then,
So your
yeah,
journey for 25 years, and you started basically from the bottom, working your way up.
yes. So actually, I would like to be as the F&B director, but the journey of career is changed based on the needed of the company on the time. Why I should say like this? Because when I work at the F&B service in the restaurant as the assistant restaurant manager, I also in charge as the departmental trainer. So I lead the departmental and delivering the training to the team members, and then the general manager put me on the succession planning. If the training manager is resign, I'm as one of the successor to replace the training manager. So on that time, I had the opportunity to move to HR as the training manager.
Wow.
So the unique thing that I would like to share here that I don't have enough knowledge and skill as the training manager. So I learn by myself, and also I request to do the cross exposure and learn something about the training for hospitality through the American Hotel and Motel Association to get the knowledge. What have to do as the training manager, right?
Okay. So when you say you weren't equipped to be the HR manager, what made you feel that way?
Training manager, actually.
Training manager,
So,
sorry.
yeah. On that time, I have equipped as the trainer. However, I don't have enough knowledge to deliver the training for all the staff. It's totally different way how to delivering the services to all the members. Because when I was in charge in the restaurant, I just focusing on my team. So it's a lot of challenge what I have to do to delivering the session to all the staff. So that's why I asked to the general manager for the cross exposure to other property, to do the other knowledge and skill training to ensure I equip with the enough knowledge and skill to deliver the training to others, the members among the hotels.
And how long did it take you before you felt you were ready?
That's interesting. So I took around 3 months to set back and then look at what the possibility the first training have to deliver. So I still remember I start with the simple training, for example, like the grooming standard, and then the telephone courtesy, which is very, very basic. That's the start point, how to deliver the training to all the staff, which is very challenging at on that time. However, along the process, and then I keep learning, I keep attend the any courses, and to equip with the more knowledge. So from that experience, and then go off, and then as the human resource manager, as the HR director. So I look at that's the something related to the career development.
Okay.
And along the way, I have also experienced to attend the leadership coaching workshop in Kuala Lumpur in 2012. So on that 3 days workshop, I learned a lot. I got some inspiration, and then on that time I was thinking, oh, it's good doing as a coach. That's the some new inspiration on that time, right, David? And
So
then
so that was when you first really got interested in coaching, is it?
yes, because
And,
on that time I had to do the 6-month project.
okay. And what was it during that seminar, that 3-day seminar, that made you feel, okay, coaching is what I want to pursue?
Because on that time, refer to my experience at the beginning from the restaurant person to HR person. So I think need somebody to give some guidance, or accompany somebody to get ready before the next position.
Okay.
It's not my experience. I just learn by myself, try to find out by myself, but we don't have any clear people as a body. So based on that experience, I should have a good body to help people want to grow, want to develop their career. So during 3 days workshop, I learned a lot because we have exchange the function as the coach, as a coachee, and also as the observer. So from that lessons, that's something new for me, but it's very interesting.
Can you describe what was different between like a trainer or a coach that you found so interesting?
Because on that time, when my partner from other property coached me, and then they give me opportunity to explore my potential, my ability, and also I do sharing what actually I feel it during this conversation. I don't feel that my partner as a coach forced me to answer, but I answer what actually I feel it, what actually I want to say based on the question that asked to me.
Okay.
That's
So,
something interesting. Yes.
sorry, go ahead. Sorry, I interrupted you.
Yeah, no problem. That's make me interesting. Wow. Meaning when we able to accompany people while exploring the personal growth, for example, or the personal thoughts, and then they feel got something confident because they decided from the coach itself, not because the coach won, but the coach want to explain based on the question that asked by the coach.
So basically, like if it's a training, usually there's an outcome that is expected from the training. whereas
Yes.
during coaching, it's kind of comes directly from you,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
there's no expectation. It's just what
By the flow.
awareness can you get. That is quite interesting. So,
Yeah.
you kind of mentioned quite a lot here. Like you started as a waiter, you worked, I'm
Mhm.
sure you worked hard and worked your way up. Um, what are some of the challenges that you've faced?
Mostly the challenge because on that time that I have to have some challenge with the people that at the beginning we are in the same position, and then when I have the assignment the better position, and then my fears still on that position. So how to manage this college as my team?
Mm,
So on that kind of the situation, I have to showing that I have the ability better than them. That on
mm,
that time, and then I always treat them as a friend. So once I do the instruction, I just using the way how uh, personal approach to them to ensure that they not feeling, oh, you as the boss now, so I can do what actually I want to do to them. But I want to say to them, we are still one team, but I have the larger opportunity, larger responsibility to manage the department. That's the way how to communicate to them to ensure they will support me as well, and then we still in one team.
mm.
So, but there is a process to ensure that I able to communicate that kind of thing
Right,
to the college. Yeah.
right. So you kind of had a challenge transitioning into that leadership role. And so
Yes.
what did you do during this time? Like how you said there was a process, and what was that process?
So once when I have a sign as the leader, so I do the humor. I not stop humor to them, and also mostly I have a lunch together. I not stop to that. I have it. So I still continue what actually the normal situation, like have a chat, have a humor, have lunch together, and I keeping that good, right? And then what I do on the process, I talk personally one to one
Ah, okay.
to avoid misunderstanding from because I got the promotion and the rest still on the position. So on that time I mentioning I have the opportunity first. I believe you have also another opportunity.
Mm,
So what we can do now is showing your ability, and then I believe in the next opportunity, I'm sure you will have that done as the leader as well. So because only one position available, so we cannot make it everybody as the that position, right? So that's kind of thing that I talk in personally to ensure that we are keep in one loop.
so you continue to be supportive and
Yes,
also
yes,
understanding, and also showing them that they still have a lot of value that they can bring, um, even though right now perhaps you're in that position.
yes, right, right.
Nice. So is this also what you do as a coach when you're doing your career coaching, leadership coaching? Do you use these examples? What's your
Oh yes.
approach as a leadership coach?
So thank you, David. As the leadership coach, actually, this kind of something happening when I met with the coachee. Can you tell me the tips as a leader in human resources? That's something that challenged me that I have to give the direction. But
Right,
we have to remember I not give the direction, right?
right.
what I have to do is that's good question. And then I will ask to the coach. So what are you doing right now for the leadership? So
Mm,
back to them, and then along the process of coaching conversation, and then he start understanding that I'm not giving the direction, I'm not giving the advice, but I explore their
mm,
capability of leadership.
right.
And ending of the session, she realized that it should come from the coach, not come from me.
Mm. So I
Once
know this
the
this sounds easier said than done, but I'm
yes,
sure that you've probably faced some coaches that um, perhaps want you to give them direction. So have
exactly.
you ever met this challenge, or
Oh
and what do
yes,
you do when you meet it?
I said right now I am as a coach, so I will help you to explore your leadership. And then what I do on the time is discuss about my experience during the brainstorming session. Because sometimes the coach is asking in the beginning of the conversation. So I have to be patient, not answering as the what actually he asked me to give the some tips. And ending of the session, and then I love to share if the coach doesn't mind to share it, right? And
Right.
that's what I did, yeah. And sometimes I just completed the session, and then the session is complete, and then this is another topic, meaning the sharing session after the coaching is completed. That's the way how to do the relationship with the coaching.
So from your side though, you said that you have to be patient and not actually give the coachee the answers. But here, um, I mean, here we're doing an interview, so I would like to hear from you, like if you could tell him or direct them, what tips would you give someone who's transitioning into leadership? What should they learn, or what should they avoid? What should they do?
So from my side, we should be fully present. So we are not focusing on the what's the coach want to give us the direction or any solution. So we should using that kind of the question and back to the coach as what actually best for you as the leader.
Mm,
So what do you want to look like as a leader? So meaning back to him or her to think about his or her leadership,
mm.
because
So
we
kind
not
of
be
getting
patient.
them to understand like what's their style of leadership.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. Otherwise, we should be mindful on that one. We should be mindful when there is any challenging like that during the coaching conversation, because as we know, we have to give the opportunity to think about his or her leadership style or leadership preference. We cannot say about our experience, maybe not met with our experience. So that's why I try to avoid
Mm,
to share or to advise during the coaching conversation. That's what I did.
right. And I think that's a very important thing for people to remember, that there's no one style fits all, right?
Yeah,
Everyone
yeah.
has their own abilities, their own uniqueness, and they have to use that when they want to become leaders. and they have to understand what kind of leader they can be and they want to become. It's a very good reminder.
Yeah.
So what would you say, what kind of leader are you?
So actually, I am the leader that always visible during the time is needed. So I always available and always try to support and always lead them with the example, and not just asking, but we do first and then ask them to do it.
Mm,
And even I try to give an inspiration and support to them,
mm,
because I always actually respect the own team strength, and I utilize their strength. And if I can understand or I don't able to do it, I said I can do it. Even I'm a leader, I can do it. You have the better resources, so I using the resources what they have, so that why they feel it companion working with me.
interesting. So basically you want to be there, showing and setting the example for your team. You know, now though, with COVID and a lot of things are done virtually, and for example, us right now, we're doing this through distance. I mean, it would be great to do this in person.
Yeah.
But what would you say has changed in the leadership role now with the pandemic and the situation, and now that everything's virtual? Do you think it's changed? Like, is it still possible to lead by example?
That can also showing about the, for example, if now using the virtual, so we can do a one-to-one discussion, and also we can see any task that can share with them through the presentation. That also there is any opportunity to share the example. So
Mm,
not because right now on in terms of physically also it's very hard to meet in person, right?
right.
So for me, that the technology also can utilize to providing the example, for example, one-to-one discussion, and also provide any support to the what actually the team is not any, there isn't any challenging that we can help. So we showing that we able to help even we through the virtual. So
Mm,
meaning this or still on track as long as we are always available. For example, we can maximize the WhatsApp group, for example,
mm,
that any question through the WhatsApp group, so the leader always answer and then provide some feedback or provide anything that to guide the teams through the WhatsApp group. That's the way how that even in person we cannot meet each other, but we can using the WhatsApp group as the tools to provide the support to the team members.
so basically, we should still make ourselves available through the technology available,
Yes,
and try to
exactly.
be there as much as possible for our team.
Yes,
That's very
that's
good.
the
That's very good advice, I wanted to say.
yeah, because that's the tools that is very resourceful to provide the communication to make sure that the communication in one loop.
Mm,
That's why, for example, right now I have a lot of WhatsApp group for this one, WhatsApp group for that one, so to ensure that we are in one loop or in one
right,
page
right,
on that discussion. Yeah.
right. So, what about your experience as a leadership coach here? Do you have some success stories that you can share with our listeners?
I have once clients about they learn about the how to improve their leadership, because previously she just as the one of the members and growing up, and then I had 3 sessions to accompany this person to discuss about the how to lead the teams. And then I have some conversation, and mostly the story like this. At the beginning, he need my coaching session for half an hour, right? Okay, we agree with the 30 minutes, and then I accompany to discuss. I just have one time to open the discussion, was the topic, and then was the goal to be achieved during the 30 minutes. And then this coach talk a lot. I just listen, right? Listen actively, right?
Right.
And then for the 30 minutes, he talk about the reality. I don't have any opportunity to ask. And then the session continue until 90 minutes. Even even on that one only need 1 session, and after that, oh, I need another 3 session, and then we continue another 3 session, and because she got the impact after the discussion within 90 minutes, and then after that I continue with a different topic in terms of the leadership, in terms of the how to lead other people, even how to lead the above or up level, right?
Right.
Because as a new leader, sometimes they just focusing to lead down, not lead up, right?
Right.
So from that also, and then I accompany during the conversation, and she said always something new awareness every session completed, or always something that I have something belief, there's a value that I can continue as a leader. That something that I can share.
Interesting. So you said that you started with the agreement it would be 30 minutes and then it turned into 90 minutes. And I think that happens quite a lot when we're coaching. But what happened after that? Did every session turn into 90 minutes?
The last session, because they agree on the 90 minutes, but the rest is 60 minutes. The last session,
Okay.
session 4 is the 90 minutes, because the discussion quite interesting, and also for me it's also a little bit tough. And then just 90 minutes per schedule.
So when you're coaching, you're actually quite flexible with the time. Is that right?
Because I put slot every session 2 hours. If in case any extension of the time, so I still have some time to accompany comfortable to the coachee. So I slot 2 hours, because what I did is after the coaching is done, and then I do the what's called maintain the relationship, to ensure that what I discuss about the coaching's session, like debrief, right? Like debrief. We're doing
Right.
the debrief to ensure that this will be more impactful after the coaching session. That's what I did. So 1 hour finish, and then the rest half an hour or 1 hour as a debrief, or maintain the relationship.
Right. So it seems like as a coach, you want to make sure that whoever you're coaching really gets the most out of the session.
Yes,
That's really
because
nice.
my 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 job is just listen, but also at the end of the session, I want to know also about the way I coach them, and then also I want to get the inspiration also, because we learn together actually during the coaching session, right? And then from that we move forward to ensure that we grow together. They
Hmm,
as coach, I'm as a coach.
right. I think that's something also very important, that when we're coaching, we're not just helping someone learn about themselves, but we are also actually getting something as the
Yes,
coach.
right.
We're actually learning something. So based on your experience and what you've learned, what tips would you share with someone who's maybe starting their career, or they're thinking of having a career change, or they're thinking of moving up into a leadership role? Like, do you have any tips or any questions that they should ask themselves during this time?
Yeah. Actually, there is something that before moving to the next level as leadership person, we should get ready at least 60% the task that's done for the next level. At least 60%. So meaning this person is already equipped with 60% knowledge and skill, even attitude, to move to the next level. And then that's something that I shared during the building the relationship, or during the brainstorming session. If they ask, of course, I have also, if they allow me to share my expertise as well.
Hmm. So how can someone know though if they're at 60%? Like, what's the way to benchmark that?
So from 60% or 65%, there is something that to benchmark about the task list that supposed to be done for the next level. For example, there are 10 task lists supposed to be equipped for the next level. At least they have six tasks from 10 they done already. They able to do it, or
Okay.
from that's something feasible to look at. Oh, I already able to this one. For example, previously they don't have ability for the forecasting, but they already learn forecasting and they know how to forecasting, for example. And then they don't know about the budgeting, and then they already introduced about the budgeting and they're involved on the budgeting. At least they already on that way to go. So that's
Okay.
kind of the measurement that uh, what I suggest, for example, what actually the job description for the next level.
Mm,
So we learn from that, and then we do the practice about that task.
right.
So that's what I mean. We have to be prepared 60%
Right.
because we
So,
understood and we able to apply.
right. So what about someone who's maybe stuck in their career and they want to make a change, but they're not sure where to go? What should they do because you mentioned earlier that they should look at what is the next step, right? And what are some
Mhm.
things they need to learn? They should make like
Mhm.
a task list. What if
Mhm.
someone's not sure? What could they do to kind of find that clarity?
That's interesting. So that actually the function as coach. So the coach will be try to find out what actually their potential,
Hmm.
because sometimes it just asked by himself or herself, they just cannot be honest to answer the question from himself. But when somebody as a coach helping her or him what actually the potential, what actually the blocking of his or her career, and then they have the awareness, and then they know what have to do.
Mm. Okay.
What I believe is they don't know what their potential, because they just look at 20% of their potential. Actually, there are another 80% of potential we should be unlocking
Right.
through the conversation, right?
So kind of what you're saying is they need to find this self-awareness. What are they good at? What's
Yes,
unique about them? And then be able to be honest with themselves also on what they really want.
exactly.
Right.
Because when they know the strength, and also they know the weaknesses, and then we can find somebody that can help. But we have to remember, if we very hard to do it, but we have to showing our strength, and then
Right.
our weaknesses can cover by other people.
Right.
So we do need to learn very struggling to fulfill our weaknesses. But when we know our weaknesses, when we find a team, we have to find a team that able to support our weaknesses. So that the collaboration we have to think as the leader. We cannot everything that we have to able to as our strength. Cannot. But when we has the awareness, I have some weaknesses. So when I recruit somebody, I find the people strength on that one. So will be very good team. So we fulfill the whole with the right person on that place.
That's a very good point you bring up, that I think a lot of people who are transitioning into leadership forget. And sometimes they feel like, oh, I'm a leader. I need to be able to do everything. I need to be able to be the best at everything. And they
Yeah,
forget about what's that, we're human and we all have weaknesses. And they
right,
sometimes forget that, other people are there to support us. And if we choose the right people and the right team that can compensate our weaknesses, then that can actually make us a better leader. Whereas I think
right,
some people, when they're first transitioning, sometimes they feel a little bit threatened, maybe, by other people who can do something better. So I think that's a really good point you bring up.
Mhm.
When you say that, like, look for people who can actually do things better than you and I think that takes a lot of self-awareness and a lot of maturity as well. Wouldn't you
Yeah,
say?
yeah, yeah. Because the some leadership, because they, as mentioned earlier, they just showing that I'm the Superman. Actually, not.
Right,
So when we as the leader, we have to able to look at ourselves, and we have to look at our team strengthen.
right,
So the strength of our team we can utilize, and then make the strong team, and we are teaching each other. So we support
right,
each other. That's what I experienced previously when I work in the hotel industry as the human resource leader. So if they good at administration, give to them and encourage them doing the best. If they good on the employee relation, I give them to doing the best activities. So everybody has their own skill and own ability to showing that they have the unique.
right. Yeah, that's a really good point, and I think that's really good advice for people who are in leadership roles and maybe are too micromanaging or too controlling. Sometimes they just need to remember that, we can't do everything and we have to trust our team that we've chosen the right people in our team. It's a really powerful message. So, Coach Putu, we've been talking for about over 30 minutes. So I'd like to ask you one more question here before we end. And this is a question I like to ask all my guests. Um,
Mhm.
so basically, let's say your time is up. You've completed everything you want to in your life journey, and you're moving on to a better place.
Mhm.
And everything about you is going to disappear. You're going to take it with you, except
Mhm.
two pearls of wisdom that you can leave for the next generation to help them. And this is kind of your legacy. What would be your two pearls of wisdom?
Be generous and grateful.
Generous and grateful. Though can you elaborate a little bit what you mean by generous and grateful?
Generous that when we have something to share, so we share to everybody, no matter who they are. So I love to share what I have. For example, you have something, we share it, even small thing, we share it. So at least we have the attitude, we like to help people.
Mm,
Yeah.
yeah.
So if we have something and then love to share, no matter that he's don't like me or like me, but I love to share. At least they still remember that you have something, I share it.
Wow, that's really powerful. You know, sometimes people say though, I will share when I have something to share, but I don't yet. What would you say to those people?
At least they feel it about they feeling good about themselves. If they don't have to share, at least they receive with a good heart.
Mm, okay. And how about grateful?
Grateful, everything that we have, I always feel grateful. So when we feel grateful, everything will be as abundant. So that's why everything that I have is feel grateful. So life is more, it's beautiful
Mm,
because because through feel grateful. So and it's small achievement, I feel grateful already. So I start with the to have
right.
small thing I have. I do something, whatever the result, that the result, let it be. But I start already with grateful.
I think that's also a very good message, especially now, you know, during COVID, a lot of people just tend to focus on the negative, what they've lost. Um,
Mhm.
in the news, for example, you hear a lot of negative news. Um,
Mhm.
but it's important that we stay grateful, that we still focus on what we have. So I
Yeah.
want to share with you what I'm grateful for. I'm really grateful that you joined our show
Thank you.
and you were willing to come on and interview. And I'm going to add one more question now and ask you, what are you
Yes.
grateful for?
So I'm grateful that I can share what I have. And then, as mentioning that, I'm very generous. And actually, I don't have anything to complain. So every morning, wake up grateful. I'm still alive. So that's meaning will be give me more opportunity to enjoy the life. And for example, thank you for my heart. Thank you for my eye. Thank you my taste. So everything that I have, I should be gratefully and also thank you for 3 times. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And so I'm going to close it on that note. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us. And I hope you like this session, everyone. It's been very interesting. Thank you for sharing, Coach Putu. Thank you for sharing your experience and some advice for our listeners. And yeah, thank you, thank you, thank you.
And also, I love to thank you to bring me to this what is called it, the the event. So I mean, I love to share my experience, and also from those sharing session, I hope there is an something to as a takeaway.
Well, I'm sure there's a lot of takeaways here. I think there were a lot of good points that you shared. So I do actually have another question, and it's just, what if one of our listeners is interested to know more and wants to get in touch with you? How can they do that? What's the best way to get in touch with you?
Also can follow my Instagram at Putu Hartana, and also can look at my WhatsApp as well. So I will share my WhatsApp to you, so you can also give my WhatsApp number to people that want to meet me or get some other resources to discuss. I love to share it, because everything that I share, I love to give an impact to everybody. Because if I meet somebody, I want somebody better than me in terms of career, in terms of leadership, anything. So I love to help people to make sure that they have the better life in the future, because I have a background as well that somebody helped me to be right now.
That's another great message. You know, we all, as a good leader, as successful people, we always want to help others be successful as well. So for everyone who wants to get in touch, I will leave the Instagram and the WhatsApp number as given
Yes.
permission by Coach Putu. So thank
Please,
you again
I love this.
for thank you again for sharing. I hope to be able to catch up with you and get you to share some more of your experience in the future. Thank you again, Coach Putu.
Thank you. I love to. Thank you, David. Bye bye.
All right. Thanks, everyone.